mutually exclusive things. If you liquidate, you do not rehabilitate. If you rehabilitate, well, maybe you can liquidate some of the assets, but not all of the assets. Otherwise, that will become, that will not anymore be a going concern, because if you're rehabilitating, you preserve the going concern status of the entity. Is that correct, Mr. Chairman? That we cannot have both unless we're talking of partial liquidation of certain assets that, if liquidated, will help in revitalizing, because that will, instead of, let's say, land, it will become cash, and that cash will help in making the company more viable. So what are we talking about here now?
Liquidation or rehabilitation?
Your Honor, in our case, it's a rehabilitation because in our proposal, we would like to continue servicing the life plan. And that by servicing the life plan.
Maybe no who is
maybe you should introduce yourself.
I'm Mr. Albert Alba, President of Prudential Plans.
Okay. So speaking for the company.
Yes, Your Honor. In the proposal of Prudential Life, the proposal is a restructuring of the obligations for the pension education plan, but the continuation of the life plan business, in which case the company will continue as an ongoing concern, servicing the life plan.
Now, my question is this. Who authorized the liquidators? PPI, what's PPI? So, the liquidator. Who authorized the liquidator? Because we're talking of liquidating. Who authorized them to liquidate? There's already an order for liquidation.
Your Honor, the Insurance Commission ordered the liquidation of the company. Actually, the period for possible rehabilitation is already in.
Now, if that is the case, how come you're still talking of rehabilitation?
It's
As I said,
PPI.
my understanding is that these are two mutually exclusive activities.
If I may. It's PPI that is talking about possible rehabilitation because they have submitted a petition in court. But as far as the Insurance Commission is concerned, the period for possible rehab has ended, and that's the reason why.
But is there a TRO on the liquidation as a result of the court action taken by PPI?
Wala pa po.
So that is just a scrap of paper as far as you are concerned. So the liquidation continues.
Yes, sir.
Now, my next question on the liquidation, Mr. Chairman, is on the liquidation, who is guiding you on the valuation of the assets?
Your Honor, we are being guided by the Insurance Commission, their actuarial team, of course the trust banks, and then as for the corporate assets,
The actual team is for if you're going into the future. But I'm talking of liquidation now. I'm talking of appraisal of the assets.
yes, the trustee banks
That is not
have,
an actuarial activity.
yes, the trustee banks are the ones in charge of the valuation of the assets that they hold. So they hold real properties. Well, these are at least the non-liquid assets, real properties and unlisted shares of stock. Now, as for the corporate assets, which are mostly comprised of unlisted shares of stock, their stock holdings and subsidiaries, and also some real properties, we are going to, and we haven't done this just yet, we are going to subject them to an updated appraisal.
Now, Mr. Chairman, when it comes to stocks, for example, these are publicly listed stocks. There are market prices, no?
Yes.
So there's no problem. There's no problem there. If we're talking of cash or whatever liquid assets, then there's no problem with respect to valuation. But if we're talking of real assets, land, then there will be a problem there. And I think we have to protect the interest of the beneficiaries, the plan holders, in case of liquidation, is to maximize the value.
Exactly, Your Honor.
Now, are the old owners authorized to buy the properties, or they're not authorized? They're prohibited. Are they prohibited from making a bid?
Your Honor, we have not yet set up the guidelines, and this is for the comfort of everyone. no properties of value, real estate properties, and shares of stock have been offered for sale yet because we have to revalue all of these based on the latest appraisal reports.
In case, Mr. Chairman, they are offered for sale in a public, I presume this will be on a bidding basis or for some chapters, maybe on auction basis. Are the PPI stockholders prohibited by law?
They are not prohibited by
They're
law,
not.
Your Honor, yes. Your Honor, if I may, we have a board of advisors which was just constituted by the Insurance Commission yesterday. And this is like a new animal or a creation because of the unfortunate lack of guidelines under the pre-need code and the IRR. In this board of advisors, we have seated 5 representatives of the plan holders. So they will be involved every step of the way, particularly when we formulate the guidelines for actually converting these assets to cash. So that is where we stand, Your Honor, at this point.
I'm just concerned, Mr. Chairman, because, like for example, if there are confiscated goods in customs, Bureau of Customs, and then the consignees are allowed to make a bid also during the auction, then you can have a simulated auction where the consignee will eventually be able to buy the goods, the confiscated goods, and they suffer a little, but they make a profit in the end. I'm just concerned whether there is a law that will prohibit the owners of the affected company from bidding for the assets to be disposed of.
Go ahead, you answer.
Your Honor,
Very low here.
Your Honor, I think that this is really an important point that has to be taken under advisement. And since this meeting is really for the modification, amendment, and improvement of this law, then this is one of the things that we have to take note of. Because unfortunately, with respect to the liquidation process of a pre-need company at this point, such guidelines are not yet in place. So if this can be a jumping board or a springboard from which we come up with more stricter guidelines, more stringent rules, then we can...
Isn't this an existing activity? Liquidation is as old as I can remember. I remember in elementary school, meron ng board of liquidators.
Siguro, well, I think we have that.
There's a law.
Chair.
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, even if you're going to put it there, just like in the customs, they're going to get some dummy to bid for that. So I don't know if you could do it. But the question I'm asking is that they have a lot of subsidiaries, right?
Yeah.
Do they have control on the subsidiaries? In other words, do they own 50% or more?
They have a lot of subsidiaries in which they own almost 100%.
Okay. Are there some that they own less than 50%?
Yes, they also have.
So how would you liquidate it if the owner, I mean, if the major stockholder would say, we're not going to buy these stocks, or you would sell it outside, but normally not at a premium.
Yes, for
Otherwise,
those.
that's why that's the question I'm asking. Now, on the company itself, PPI, do you have subscription receivables from the owners, from the stockholders, or all that they have subscribed, they have already fully paid?
Right now, they have subscribed under their stockholders' equity. It would seem that everything has been subscribed.
If everything has been subscribed, then yes, everything has been
Right,
paid.
and paid, yes.
Subscribed and paid, no receivables.
Your receivables.
So, thank you, Mr. Chair.
Maybe we can ask now, we've asked Prudential, maybe we can ask plans, person from the plan holders to speak. Okay, we'll ask Mr. Batiles and then later on Mr. Cong.
Your Honor, I'm J.R. Batiles. I am the proponent of the rehabilitation plan on behalf of the plan holders. Now, the reason why we did not accept the proposal, the original and even the revised proposal from Prudential Life, because we feel that it is not fair for us. We feel that we are being abandoned because we as pension and education plan holders, we are being transferred to another company which we are not even related to, we even don't know. So this is MB Life. Para kaming mga mainit na patatas na sa sobrang init pinapagsak na lang. So number 2, we feel that this is a gross violation of the contract that we have entered into with Prudential Life. And the unilateral transfer based on that proposal is really not acceptable from our end. Let me also raise that, the benefits that the rehab plan that they have provided, even in the original rehab plan and in the Balikbayan program, that is far too less from the promised benefits that they have told us based on the plan. For instance, yung sinasabi nilang Balikbayan program, it's actually a misnomer as far as I am concerned, because the payment will be made in 7 to 15 years. So, we know what will happen in 7 to 15 years, and add to the fact that it will not anymore be Prudential Life that we'll be dealing with, it will be Manila bankers. So kung may mangyari sa Manila bankers, and if I may quote the decision of the Insurance Commission, ang capitalization niya is only 50 million. And then if we are going to transfer the trust funds of the education and the pension plan at that time of December 31, 2011, that was like 5 billion. So any 1% swing in the investments, if it will go down to the negative side, that will completely wipe out the capitalization of Manila bankers. So ang fear namin, okay, maganda pakinggan, balikbayan, kasi yun ang akala nilang narinig nila ng mag-consultation hearing. Pero ang sa amin is hindi eh. In fact, may caveat to that, because if we look at the details of the Balikbayan program, sinasabi nila na yung mga availing at saka matured plans at that point in time, babayaran 90% of the contract less the what has already been availed. And if we look at that, assuming that is true, right away that will be around 2 billion pesos in my computation. So, kung may 5 billion ka, so 3 billion ang mapupunta na lang talaga sa Manila bankers for them to invest. So, ang sa amin lang is mas malaking disparity yun, kasi yung magbe-benefit lang doon sa assuming yung availing at saka yung mature plan holders, makaka-receive ka agad, mga 20% lang yan ng mga plan holders. And so ang 80% who will still be like maturing or fully paid plans, hindi sila makaka-avail, and they have to wait 7 to 15 years. That's why ako personally, kasi kung titingnan ko, si mature na yung plans ko and pwede na nga ako ma-consider na availing. So I could have accepted that, pero we are opposing that because we're thinking that the 80% of the plan holders will be dihado naman sila. Now, ano ba yung counter proposal namin? Ang aming counter proposal, simple lang po hindi makabayad si Prudential Life. We're talking of several billions na liabilities nila sa amin, at konti lang yung trust fund nila na available. So, we can take over the company. Yun po kasimple ang aming proposal. Ang plano namin was to keep the life plan business because according to them, it is profitable, and I think that's also making sense because a lot of life plan business are thriving in this country. And so, ang inisip namin na ang liability ng para sa pension at saka sa education plan, if i-freeze natin yan in the company. In fact, nabubuhayan kami ng loob dito because if you look at the Congressional Advisory in 2008-07, that was the policy that guided, I believe, the reenactment of the Penal Code of the Philippines in 2010. Ito po yung nag-i-embody na pwedeng mag-create ng holding company. So yun yung iniisip po namin, na ang holding company na yun, yung existing life plan business, ikikip namin. Kasi at the time, more than enough yung kanyang trust fund to cover for the liabilities for the life plan. Ang problema lang talaga was the education and the pension trust funds. So ang sabi namin, if we freeze that, okay, and then we let this run, and then we invest the 5 billion trust fund ng pension at saka education plan at 5% to 8% range of earnings a year, that would be like 375 million at least a year. Nakikitain na pwede namin paghati-hatian, na pwedeng ibabawas doon on a yearly basis doon sa liabilities na intended for the education at saka pension plan holders. So over time, ma-recover yun. Yun yung rehabilitation na gusto namin, and we believe na ito walang iwanan yan hindi kami ililipat kung kani-kaninong kumpanya, hindi kami makikipag-deal sa ibang tao. Here, we propose that in a way that the plan holders will be able to have like self-determination. We can run the company via hiring top executives sa company. So, kahit na magbayad ka 100,000 a month sa 5 top executives, kahit bigyan mo pa yan ng 15 months a year, that's 1.5 million each, and then that will be 7.5 versus sa kikitain na 375 million from the trust fund alone. How much more doon sa corporate assets ng Prudential Life mismo at saka sa maraming mga subsidiaries na pagmamayari nila. So, combine all those income nakikitain doon sa mga investments na yun, napakalaki ng posibilidad for success. We just need support from the government on how to deal with it. So yun po, bottom line, yan ang aming proposal. Maraming salamat po.